run. This is your Monday edition of Fantasy Focus Baseball. He is Matthew Berry, and I'm Molly Karam. And Matthew, we start with a couple of last season's rookie phenom pitchers. No sophomore slump for David Price, tossing a 9-strikeout shutout versus the Blue Jays on Sunday. Is this the ace of the future we hyped, or would you debate selling at a very high level?
No, I think he's legit. You know, you mentioned sophomore slump. Actually, last year was sort of his
too legit to quit.
He was bad. The Price is right. You love the puns on the full screens there. You see the numbers there, Molly, and guess what? Those numbers are even better when you notice he's top 10 in the American League in wins, strikeouts, ERA, innings pitched, and he's 11th in WHIP. David Price has been everything you want in a fantasy pitcher and that much more. He's done it against good competition. I think this is legit. People forget he's 24 years old. We saw him, 2 years ago in the playoffs be lights out. He struggled somewhat last year. Yeah, just the rose kind of fell off the bloom a little bit here, or the bloom off the rose, whichever way you want to take it. David Price has me befuddled, and he has hitters befuddled as well. Yeah, I think this is for real. I'm not selling high on him.
Okay, well, the second season has not been as kind for the Tigers' Rick Porcello. 6 earned runs on 10 hits in 4 innings and an ERA near 8. Matthew, can you drop Porcello, or will you just bench him until he turns things around?
You drop him. Drop him like he's hot, Molly. I believe that's a
drop it like it's hot.
Right.
It
yep.
is.
Yeah, anyway, 21 years old, so a little bit of patience here with Porcello. But just because the Tigers are throwing him out there doesn't mean you need to. He's owned in 83% of ESPN leagues, and that's way too many. He's getting hit a lot. Now, he's been somewhat unlucky, but as you mentioned, the ERA close to 8, a WHIP over 2. And in a 10-team standard ESPN league, there's no reason he needs to be owned. There's so many better guys out there that are available. And here's the other thing about Porcello, right? Look at who he's faced. Cleveland, Kansas City, at the Angels, at Texas. Other than the Rangers, none of those teams have really done very much this year. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I like Porcello, but a little bit too young. It seems like he's hit the dreaded sophomore slump. Dump him.
He struggled a little bit last April, but turned things around.
Yeah, no, there's no question about it. But again, he's 21, and here's the thing about 21-year-old. Here's the thing about guys in leagues this shallow, Molly, is that you don't need to be patient with them because there's so much pitching depth out there. Guys like Foster Cremona, who's been awesome, available in 80% of leagues. Jaime Garcia is out there in a ton of leagues. So you don't need to be patient with guys like this. If you're in a deeper AL-only league, if you're in a keeper league, no question. And and you're absolutely right. He's not this bad. He's gotten unlucky somewhat, but yeah, at this moment, in an ESPN league where you only got 3 bench spots, I'm dropping him.
And was also inconsistent all last year, too.
Yes.
The winning pitcher in that Tigers game was Colby Lewis, who is now 3-0, 28 Ks already, and available in nearly 90% of ESPN.com leagues. Is he somebody who should be added today in mixed leagues, Matthew?
I think he's more of a spot starter, but there's a perfect example. Again, leagues are so shallow. Much rather have him than Porcello. You look at the strikeouts there. The thing about Colby Lewis, right, 1.33 WHIP, which isn't great. He's got 20 strikeouts in 2 of his last 3 starts, right? So double-digit strikeouts, but there's against Cleveland and Detroit. Now, so I think he's a spot starter. I'll tell you, I actually like his teammate, C.J. Wilson, even more. All this said, Colby Lewis get the next start at Seattle, at Safeco. I think he's a must-start there. I really like him a lot. As a spot starter, I'm not willing to go all in because the WHIP, again, is still a little bit high for me. I'm just a little bit nervous. He's not going deep into games a lot, but he is racking up the Ks.
So maybe stay away. Success on the other side of the battery for the Rockies. Miguel Olivo, 3 home runs over the last week. Is he a good short-term ad with plenty of catchers struggling at the plate?
I think he is, Molly. That's a very good question. The thing about Olivo, right, is he's a career 244 hitter, career 247 against the National League. So you don't expect that average that you see right there, the 297, to continue. That said, 23 home runs last year, 16 home runs in 06 and 07. So the power is legit. We've seen it. And I'd rather have him than guys like Yadier Molina, Mike Napoli, Ryan Domit. 77% of leagues are still owning Miguel Montero. I would drop him. I have no issue there. So, yeah, I agree with you. There's a lot of catchers that are struggling or catchers that, frankly, aren't performing as well as Miguel Olivo. If you can live with the batting average, the power's for real.
Solid week for him, but Paul Konerko was getting his home run swing on in full effect this weekend, homering Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Matthew, you were high on him in the preseason. With now 8 home runs, do you think 30 to 35 is possible for the rest of the season?
I don't think it's not only is it possible, Molly, it's likely. Last year, people forget this about Konerko, and this is one of the reasons we liked him in the preseason, and I said it, he had 28 home runs last year. He's a career 277 hitter. Now, he's on pace for 72 home runs. I'm guessing that's going to drop off a little bit. But other than 08, when he had kind of a down year, hit only 22, there's a guy that's hit 30, 35, 40 home runs over the last 4 or 5 years. So, look, there's no question about it. He's only 34 years old. You seem like he's been around forever, but 34 is not that old at all. Certainly not for a player that's playing first base, that's a power hitter. So, Canerico, no question about it. I think he's a 35-homer guy with upside for a little bit more. He's going to finish around 270. I don't think he's a sell high.
Good call there, and you had another good call last week with Ty Wigginton. All he did
I'm like
was,
Adrian Gonzalez.
yeah, 381 with 2 home runs last week. We need to work the wire, help owners out. Who should they add this week?
Well, one guy that I like a lot is Will Venable. You know, Will Venable actually showed up on the top 20 of our player rater this year as a hitter, right? He's on pace for a 40-40 season, Molly, which
Not
I don't
bad.
think it's going to happen.
Maybe he should open a 40-40 club too.
Maybe he will. Him and Jay-Z, Venable and Jay-Z. Here's the thing, though. I will tell you this about Venable. Power and speed, 4 home runs, 4 steals in the season. I don't think he gets to 40-40, obviously, but the power and speed is legit. He's hitting 5th recently in the Padres lineup, so you like him there with Adrian Gonzalez and Chase Headley is off to a hot start. You know, I think the average will come down somewhat, but I don't think his average will kill you. He's getting a lot of runs scored. I like him a lot. And for deeper leagues, Molly, I want to give everyone a heads up here to keep their eye on Eric Young Jr. You know, we worked with his dad here on Baseball Tonight for a lot of years, but he's all sorts of fast, just like his father is. EY Jr., recalled by the Rockies. Now, the thing here's a couple things to keep in mind, okay? First off, last year EY Jr. had over 50 steals in AAA, hit 299, and Clint Marmis is hitting below the Mendoza line. So you look at this, and in the preseason, Jim Tracy, when they sent Eric Young Jr. down to AAA, they said, I believe, Jim Tracy says this, that he's going to have a Carlos Gonzalez type year this year, meaning that Eric Young Jr. would be recalled at some point during the season and contribute. He would get into the lineup, he would play a lot, and contribute the way Carlos Gonzalez did towards the end of last year. With Barmas struggling at second, if you need speed, you need it at the middle infield, especially in deeper leagues, get all over Eric Young Jr. He's a guy that could wind up with 35 steals and make a big difference.
Yeah, Carlos Gonzalez, definitely someone you like to be compared to there.
No doubt about that.
For more fantasy goodness, follow us all season long at ESPN_fantasy. That'll do it for our Monday edition. He is Matthew Berry. I am Molly Karen. Thank you so much for watching, and have a fabulous day.